Hey there everyone, welcome to your frames with the Creating for Christ class for May. I'm going to do just a video showing you just how to make these. Throughout our Creating for Christ Facebook group, I've been doing some teaching along with the verses, and then also I've showed you how to make them. But I want to do just one clean video to show you quickly how to make these frames. They're actually quite simple and lovely, and I'm sure if you've been on the Facebook group, you've seen lots of people who've been making them in different variations. So 3 of them are made exactly the same. They're made with an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. This one, the pool party, and then this one with the old olive. And then this one is made with a 12 by 12 piece of Whisper White. I don't even have one piece left, so I'm gonna show you how to make it with a piece of basic black, but it's obviously the same. And then this one is made with an 8.5 by 8.5 piece of basic black. So this one is still, but you make it all the same way pretty much. So let me start off with our 8.5 by 11 one. That's the one that you're going to do with 3 of them are just like this. Even the small black one is made the same exact way. It's just you're going to start off with an 8.5 by 8.5 piece of cardstock. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to do some scoring. And you want to, the supplies you're going to need is some green liquid Tombow glue, some tear tape to make your frames with. And that's why we did the adhesive add-on, to make sure you had the proper adhesives. And then we also included some mini glue dots and some dimensionals, because that's what you'll use for all of your decorating on the inside. We used a lot of mini glue dots and a lot of dimensionals to do all the inside piece. All right, so what you need is a scoring tool. So our trimmer, I love our Stamp Up trimmer, comes with a scoring tool built right in. And we're gonna score this in 1/2 inch increments. So you score that at 1/2 inch, then at 1 inch, then at 1.5, and the last one is going to be at 2. Whoops, I messed that up. So it was 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5, and then the last one is at 2. And I do the 2 this way because I can have better control over it. Okay, so we're gonna do that on all 4 sides. So you're going to do it at 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5 inches, and then 2. There, that's perfect. And then keep on going around. So obviously these frames can be used to frame lots of things, different scripture verses. You can even do it with pictures. And then we included the poppy, the peaceful poppy paper and the peaceful poppy elements. I just loved how they turned out with that product line. All right, 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5, and then 2. So once you've done that on all 4 sides, then you can start to assemble. Now, when you're gonna glue down something in the middle there, I do like to actually glue it down before I assemble my frame. So you can go ahead and glue down your piece that's gonna go in the middle if you want to. But now we're just gonna go ahead and fold along all of those lines. Of course, I chose that tricky one where I have a little extra line in there, but okay. So we're gonna do that on all of the score marks, like that. There we go. And then on this other side as well. Okay, so then we are going to, you need your pair of scissors, and we're just gonna remove the corners. You don't need those corners. So you're just gonna go and cut them completely out. We gave you all the cardstock you needed in the kit, but you can, I'm sure, there's lots of extra designer series paper and elements and sequins and ribbon. So hopefully you can make like multiples and lots of these. Once you make a couple, they are very easy. The first couple I made, I threw away. I had to start over again. So it's understandable if that happens to you as well, but and this one I probably would throw away because I had that extra little score mark in there, but to show you how to make it, it's not a big deal. All right, so you're just gonna remove all of the 4 corners. Now on this one, the one that has the 2 smaller sides, we need to do a couple more little score marks. So these are 1/2 inch panels, so we need to score this in 1/2 inch. If this was 1 inch panels or 3/4 inch panels, that's the same you would go in. So we're gonna go in it's 1/2 inch, and the first 2 panels I'm gonna call, you're gonna score. So it's 1/2 inch there, and then I'm gonna do the same thing, let's do the same thing at the other side too. It's the side that is directly across from it. You're gonna do the same thing, just score on those first 2 panels. Then let's do the same thing to the other side. So I lined this up here at the 1/2 inch. So my 1/2 inch is, I'm lining up over here. So I have a 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to do the 1/2 inch up here at the one side, and then come down and do a 1/2 inch down here at the bottom. All right? So it'll make sense, I think, once I do the cutting out. Then you're just gonna, you cut down those 2 panels, and then you just angle that other side off. And do the same thing here. You're gonna cut down those 2, and then I just angle off just like that. So there's the one side, and then do the same thing directly across. Cut those 2 down, and then you're just gonna angle off like that. Same thing here. Cut this down, and then we're going to angle off there. All right, now we're ready to assemble. That is how you prep it. So next we want to take that tear tape. So the next thing I do is again, we're making a frame, so I really want to make sure I'm using plenty of adhesive. So I highly recommend tear tape for this. And I'm gonna go along the entire edge here. I don't want even a tiny bit of it to lift up. So I love our tear tape because then I can just tear it just like that. So I'm gonna do the same thing to this side here. Okay. And then just do that all the way around. That. And then here. So we already have it in place. I just do all at once, all right in the beginning. Okay, there we go. So once we've done that, I start with the 2 longer sides. And you just, you peel off your backing of your tear tape. And then these just, they just kind of roll. And this piece gets glued down flat to create, it's almost like a shadow box frame. I even sometimes lay that down so it gets nice, see? Now I created like this, it's for the dark paper so you can't always see really well, but there's that. Then you do the same thing to the other side. You just pull off your tear tape backing, and then I just go ahead and roll this over there. And if you make sure you fold it along those score marks, it does it really nice. And this is why Stampin' Up! Cardstock is what you use, because we have much heavier cardstock. So now we gotta do the same thing to the other side. There's one other little tip, and you have to do this because I didn't, and you'll see, like I tried to use mini glue dots on this one, and look, it's already come off. So Tombow is the best one. Before I do this next step, I'm gonna take a little bit of Tombow glue and just put right on that triangle right there, a little bit, not a lot, because one time I did a lot and then it like splashed out and then my frame got a little messy. So these are some of the first ones that I did. Now I've perfected it. So just a little bit of glue, liquid glue is what I recommend on those little corners, and then this one. Next, you do these sides, and then these roll in, and then the corners will all nice and neat line up perfectly. They should line up perfectly. If you did not score correctly, then it might not line up perfectly, but it should line up right. You gotta hold it, so you gotta hold it just for a minute, and then you'll do the same thing on the other side. So take your little bit of glue. See, look, now that was the perfect amount. Glue's not coming off, and that will not pop out either. So I just put a little bit of glue there in the corners, and I always roll the smaller side last, because then it just kind of, those edges will just magically line up perfectly over. See, look at that. It lines up so nice when you do it. When this is like your 10th, this is probably like my 15th frame I've made. I make them really good now. I did get a little bit of glue that came over, but not much. not much. It'll glue, it'll align, it'll dry really nice there. So I just hold it, and then you decorate. And if you did like what I told you to do and you already have your paper in there, you wouldn't have to worry about getting it measured perfectly. So this will fold right over top of it. And now you're ready to go ahead and start decorating your frame. So that is for all three of these. This is the same, that's the same thing that I did, okay? Now and same thing for this one, but this one was an 8.5 by 8.5. The last one is 12 by 12. You can make, these are 3/4 inch panels. You could do the same 1/2 inch panel and your frame would be bigger and you'd have a bigger space. I've done it with a 1 inch panel, and then it's this cute little deep shadow box. So you can get, you can do 1/2 inch panels, 3/4 inch, or 1 inch. This one I'm gonna do a 3/4 inch. So we're going to score this at 3/4, and then we're going to do 1.5, and then we do 2.25, and then 3. And that's what we do to all 4 sides. So it's 3/4 of an inch, 1.5, 2.25, and then 3. And then we'll do the same thing and do a 3/4, then 1.5, 2.25. So you definitely want to have a good scoring tool, and 3. So I love our Simply Scored, and then I obviously use our trimmer too. When I'm going to do a lot of scoring, I prefer to use our Simply Scored. Okay, this is our last side. You guys are all hanging in there. I don't think I gotta, well, I will. You can always, if you think you got it, you can always turn the video off, but you want to watch it to the end. I'll do it all the way for you. Okay, there you go. Again, I would glue down like a 5.25 by 5.25 piece of your DSP there. This is actually, if you have black 12 by 12, it would make a really cool frame. I just literally did not have one piece of Whisper White left. I gave it all into the kit. We did score the one line for you, just one of your lines, so that way we could fold the paper down and make it fit in your kit okay. Hopefully all the paper got to you safely. I put a piece of cardboard in there to try to help it so it got to you safely. All right, so then you remove your corners next. Again, I'm gonna do the exact same thing I just did, but if you wanna watch again, you can watch. If you want to turn this video off, you can. Thank you for joining our class. I appreciate you. I love that you're gonna use God's word and give this as gifts. Make some for yourself. Okay, and then I'll do the other one. You want to try to cut a little straight. That one, I was moving a little fast. I don't know how straight I cut that. We'll see. Because if you really don't cut straight, then your corners will not line up very well. That last one, my corners lined up perfectly. So I love it when my corners line up perfect. All right, this one, there is no long side, short side. They're all the same. So just pick. And you're gonna pick, you know, the two opposite sides. So, and this one I used to kind of guess on, but it's really important you do get it right. So I'm gonna go to the 3/4 inch mark on both the top and the bottom, because they both need to get done. And so mine will line it up all at once. Then do, you know, score those 2 panels there, and then score the 2 panels there. And then do the same thing on the other side. Get that lined up. 2 panels there, and then 2 panels there. There you go. Oh, I got some cards up here. Follow me along. And then we're just gonna cut these down. So these are little 3/4 inch there. And then this gets, you know, took off to the side. Same thing here. Then you just go down to the other panel. You slice it there at an angle. I really did not get this one too straight. We'll see. Okay, this side over here. See, it's not hard. Someone was like, oh, it's a little time consuming, but once you make a few of them, it's really not time consuming at all. So then we'll take our tear tape and just go all the way around. I love our tear tape. To me, it's, because I don't like stuff that's messy. This is not messy, because look, I can like touch it and it's not messy. When I use just the green glue, I get really messy. All right, so then remember we start with the longer sides, the sides that are the full, not the ones that have those panels taken out. And we just put those down there. So see, this one has wider panels. So it's kind of a deeper shadow box. So it's just a different look, and it's a square instead of a rectangle. Again, if you could do 1/2-inch panels with your piece of 12 by 12, and it would be a bigger one. All right, so then we take our little bit of green glue into our little triangles right here, just like that. Pull this off, and then this just tucks in perfectly, should. There you go, and you just want to hold your corners for just about, 15, 20 seconds, maybe a minute. Just give it a minute. That way it gives a chance for that glue to really set. And then your corners, I made these frames like, 7 years ago, 5 years ago. And I didn't do this step with the green glue, and all of my corners eventually popped apart. So the green glue, this Tombow glue, is important for this step. And like I said, I tried using mini glue dots, and it just does not hold well enough. This is what you're gonna want to do. Because there's definitely some pressure here. You wanna make sure you got two really good adhesives so that it stays together. Oh, this black box is beautiful. This black frame. I loved it when I was advertising for this and sending out pictures. I can't tell you how many people messaged me and said, where'd you find those frames and Stampin' Up! Colors? Where'd you buy those frames? Like, I didn't buy them, we make them. That's the point of the class, is you get to make all these frames. So here's the one that we did that's finished, but it's in white. And I love this one because I actually decorated the frame with some of all these pieces are all in the kit. So to put your sequins down, you can use a mini glue dot with it, or you can just take your green glue and put little droplets. Every single one of them we've finished off with a sprinkling of the sequins. So I hope that you love your class. I hope that you have fun putting it together and give some beautiful gifts. Be the hands and feet of Jesus and get out there and spread his word and spread his joy. And I am so, so grateful for you.